How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, this one of them videos. You really need to go get your shit. I'm about to deliver tonight. All right, my royal family. I'm going to stall a little bit here and there. So go get your weed, your wine, or whatever your thing is. Whatever you're drinking, make sure you do it royal style. Have your pinky finger all out, even if you're drinking Kool-Aid. So I got my grape juice with plenty ice and lemon on deck. I'm going to make this real juicy. I'm leaving a message to the enemy. So my royal family, I've been, lately I have been doing a few live streams showing examples of Esau's true nature. I have often said to the enemy that Big Brother, they put Big Brother in our face. And so the way the slogan goes is, Big Brother is watching you. But the enemy never factored in that they would be watched too. And what is being displayed, my royal family, is on the world stage. See, many years ago, across the pond, many really thought that America's streets were paved in gold. And now what's going on, these folks will come over here, get their education, and go back to their country because they seeing that America is shameful. Look at her. She's shameful. Them tears ain't going to save you today. You trying to figure something out? Whatever that thing is in your hand, whatever it is, you stole it. You literally stole a country. And then you set up a system that usually works in your favor. Usually. And it's still working in their favor, my royal family. We're not a fool. But now we're seeing the cracks in that foundation. When you don't set things right, eventually it will give. And they're running out of options. No, they don't have any options. You know, you're not progressive enough. And I had said, this thing gonna be so deep that we would also start seeing they so-called leadership, their men crying. They get it from their mama. She taught they dusty asses. See, your arrogance has played you out. The side effects of a dying system, side effects. So I take joy in watching your utter destruction. You ain't fooling none of us because we might see some so-called justice. I often say every millisecond they're doing something nefarious to the royal family. Well, you're doing it to your damn self. You know, these jurors, they stack the decks in their favor. And I overheard Lioness say something that stuck with me with these jurors. She said maybe some of them are rendering, basically, their vote of guilty because they don't want that karma. So they're being worked on. And I've been showing the spiritual aspects, how real our Father, don't waver. We are in the now. Don't hold this thing up. I keep saying it over and over. I'm saying it to myself. When I get core pissed with your ass, I speak it to the universe. See, Esau, our father, is just lightly spanking you. Just barely moving his pinky finger. Could you imagine, my royal family, the full gauntlet come down on them? They can't even take an inkling. See, They are displaying their core. And when all else fails, tears, you don't give a damn about our tears. You make a mockery of it. And I'm going to make a mockery of your dusty ass. So, my royal family, I have a bonus audio. And all I'm going to do is just show some examples of how weak-willed they are. Who we have here? Yeah, Killer Geiger. We seen that damn performance that made our stomachs turn. Put on these performances. And with all them antics and shit in that courtroom, this dusty bitch keep appealing because they don't want to hold their self accountable. They feel like, okay, enough is enough. They want to decide. A slap on the wrist. See, what I'm loving is they're being damaged. See, pay attention, my royal family. They don't like answering to us. Now, one of these white supremacist cops will shoot us somewhere in the streets of America. They run to get on the world stage and get to just lie explaining, white lying explaining, however the hell you say it. Y'all will tell me, my royal family. I don't care how it come out. And even with that, that's how fragile. See, they displaying something. See, they've been trying to snow us for the longest. They displaying all these things that they've been projecting on us is fears, their core fears. You ain't getting no peace, you ain't getting no rest or anything. And Rona is about that life on a global scale. You're scurrying around and demanding in this dictatorship that we are in that people supposed to jab up, ain't nothing working at all. So when all else fails, tears? Give a fuck about your tears. So let's see who else we got here. Oh my goodness. This murderous, retarded looking motherfucker. His mama truly looked like a combination of a fucked up Miss Piggy with that old fucked up nose she got. She looked like a mixture of Miss Piggy and some other shit I don't even have a name for. So they got him running up and down the streets of America like he's some type of rock star. Even they own is saying, shouldn't be pushing this thing too far. See, my royal family, the reason why we see the enemy acting out, something's going on in that subconscious. Wait till it come full on their frontal lobe. They gonna want us to rescue them. I had said a few years ago on somebody's panel that we will see the enemy's woman wail in the streets of America. Because that's all we see is the black woman wailing in the streets of America. And our Father is tired of your ass messing with his babies. And he is displaying to you, because of our disobedience, what he had to do. But you're going to get it tenfold. So your system bails your ass out. This is some dangerous games they playing. Because the thing that I say about this little fucked up motherfucker, if he feels like he is disrespected or slighted because they're inadequate, he'll shoot again. There's a video out where he's putting hands on females. And then 2 brothers that I could recall pulled them off. You stay out of their affairs. This is none of our damn business. I keep saying take care of your immediate situation. Because these motherfuckers got a rude awakening. And it ain't even all the way came down. But what I love is on the 4 corners of the earth, everybody seeing your dirt. Your shit smells to the high heaven. You out there shitting on command at the state capitol, and then your arrogant ass feel like, oh, I ain't did nothing wrong. I'm an American. I pay taxes. Well, we pay taxes too. They don't separate shit in this system. When your ass go to the store, we all paying the same price. Your own is fucking you dry. Oh yes, I know my relatives down south, and my mother would tell me it would be some po ass. I mean, white supremacists, and all of them would be nasty. They would be living in our neighborhoods. Being poor has nothing to do with nasty, but that's how they get down, because that's their nature. They comfortable waddling in they shit. Long ago, I had read an article, and I hate that I can't find it. They had wrote an article, and they was talking about the person who wrote it their own. They said that Esau attracts parasites, and parasites naturally come up out of their body. And remember when Lisa did that video a long time ago where this white man said that they were parasitic? He was speaking truth. They feel that. So they have to be propped up and validated at the end of the day. They want somebody to save them. You're not redeemable at all. Even nature, when the sun see your ass, the sun register foreign object, and the sun, the carbon black sun, will focus on you and try to fry you up because it ain't natural for them to be here. We had no damn business taking them up out of them damn caves, and we've been suffering till this day. I'm pissed with the ones that did this shit. I don't want to go through this anymore. But our Father is making this thing so painful that we won't forget it. We feel it in our core. And then they sitting up here wanting sympathy? Wanting sympathy? Fuck your sympathy. So as we continue on, I've been tearing her ass up for the last 3 days. Oh yeah. You know, she dressed all dumpy, got this little cross on her neck. She's supposed to be a devout Catholic. I was over there listening to Fox News, and they sitting up there talking about they stunned because they expect that system that they developed to work for them. 1,000%. 1,000%. What they are saying, they want this shit to go on for infinity. Infinity. Keep saying there's a cost messing with royalty. I don't care at all about you trying to use gestures. You know, now folks is getting that property they done stole from us. When I did that story up here in Southern California on that beach that them black folks own, and they took it from them, and they in the process they said that it would take months or even maybe a little over a year before everything is implemented. Do you know some damn attorney put a junction in and put a halt to everything? I kept saying there ain't nothing but a dog and pony show. The governor of California is full of shit. And then our folks are sitting up here like, oh, Lord, everything that went away and all that kind of stuff. I mean, even our folks is even saying this rotten bitch that killed that child that, oh, now the system is working. No, it's not working. No, it's not working whatsoever. And then some of our own is coming to various channels because we laughing at their ass and dragging their ass and saying, don't celebrate. I do what the fuck I want to do. Always gonna tell us how to feel, tell us how to conduct ourselves. You go tell the enemy that damn shit. You stick your nose up their ass. You know they wrong. They often use statements. Two wrongs don't make it right. Basically what they're saying is they know they have done wrong. You know? See they a trip. They'll project all this nastiness, and then they want you to like them, and then they worry about their legacy. You know, they're concerned about the few demons that they have in learning the core truth. You know, they ready to put folks in jail. They're concerned about that. It ain't gonna pan out the way you think it's going to pan out. This stuff has been prophesized, and things are moving rapidly. And I take joy in your damn destruction. Fuck all of your tears. See, this is your damn your leader. We don't know what this is. This is a he, she, or a he, or a she, or whatever it is. You shameful bitch. Make a mockery of them. Yes, because that's all they do with us. They can't help themselves. When they on a lose-lose situation, they throwing out lugs. O.J. Simpson, Bill Cosby. It ain't working. It ain't working whatsoever. And you want to be on the moral high ground. You know, I had said that when Barack Obama, coon ass, became the president, I said the way that the enemy look at that White House now is forever tainted. You know, back in the day, when we would get in a pool, they would literally drain it and scrub it. You see how that shit is being projected back to them? And they just all over the place. I displayed to y'all how this killer ass bitch attorneys, after they done said she is guilty, and she really guilty of murder, gonna sit up in that judge's courtroom and get to saying, well, it's Christmas and it's this and that. That was really disrespectful. Oh yeah, it was very, very disrespectful. And then we all seen that photo where she skinning and grinning. They said that's not gonna work in her favor. But I don't worry about, in their system, whatever kind of time. They could give her 1,000 years. It ain't gonna satisfy us. And they always throwing up in our face when these politicians want us to vote for them. Police reform. Police reform? You only say that to the black community. No. You need to be talking to the police. We ain't messed up the police system, that demonic system. We know the origins of that. The slave catchers. They would use Irish. See, they looked at Irish people many years ago like us. But then when they seen their numbers were small, they started pulling in to give the illusion that they are the dominant race. In a lose situation, and I take joy that your woman is a bearing bitch and she has absolutely no value whatsoever. No value. Now, my royal family, I'm going to play this bonus audio. And when I play this bonus audio, what gets me about this is their own talking about their own, about what they get away with. They know exactly what they are doing. So let's check this out. This is a little over 7 minutes. Crying ass bastards.
Like it or not, both the DeValconaire and Rittenhouse verdicts were based on the law. As we were waiting for the verdict in the manslaughter case against Kansas City Police Detective Eric DeValconaire, I kept thinking about two things. First, that the prosecution had proven its case. But also that I'd seen the law and the facts disregarded before, including in a police shooting just as clearly flawed as this one. Almost 30 years ago now, in 1992, I covered the almost 6-week manslaughter trial of Teaneck, New Jersey police officer Gary Spath, who'd shot a black 16-year-old, Philip Pennell, in the back as he bolted from the schoolyard where a neighbor had reported seeing a boy with a gun. Witnesses testified that Pennell had his hands up in surrender, and forensics experts said that because of the location of the bullet and how it lined up with the hole it shot in his parka, he had to have had his hands in the air when Spath fired. On the stand, Spath cried, just like DeValconaire. He said the dead boy had been reaching for a gun with his left hand, just like DeValconaire said his victim, 26-year-old Cameron Lamb, had been. Spath said he fired because he was in fear of his life, just as DeValconaire said he fired to protect his partner's life. How can you be in fear of your life from a kid who is running away from you? Just a quick word from our sponsor.
With Early Paycheck, you can get your direct deposit up to 2 days earlier. That's another reason banking with Capital One is the easiest decision ever. Even easier than deciding to open the biggest birthday gift first.
Happy birthday to you. Which one are you going to open first?
The pony!
Yep, even easier than that. Plus, with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is banking with Capital One even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. No fees or minimums on new consumer accounts. Capital One and a member FDIC.
Still, when Spath was found not guilty, no one was surprised. First, because not one but two members of the all-white jury came from police families. One of them even said during jury selection that yes, she'd heard her two brothers-in-law on the force discussing the case. The sheriff's deputies in the Hackensack courthouse where the trial was held did everything they could to influence the jury in Spath's favor. They allowed Spath supporters to wheel a paralyzed New York City police officer who'd been shot in the line of duty into the courtroom, in front of God and the jury, as Spath was being cross-examined. They also harassed a grieving family with their favoritism, whisking Spath's loved ones right to their seats, but making Pinnell's mother and other relatives be wanted with metal detectors first. They put the panels behind a pillar that obscured their view of the courtroom, and said that if they didn't like that spot, they could always sit behind the Spath family. The panel's minister couldn't sit with them, the deputies decided, though the Spath's family priest did sit with them. And on and on. The racism in that courthouse was in no way subtle. The only reporter they asked for a second ID, beyond a press pass, was also the only black journalist covering the trial, and even then, he had to wait for approval from a supervisor while the rest of us took our seats. The only spectator they asked for any identification was a black clergyman in a minister's collar. In the overflow media room, I heard a sheriff's deputy in the next office performing for his friends, repeating bits of the testimony and mimicking black dialect. Derek Chauvin, Amber Geiger cases come to mind. How much had really changed since then? Sure, Derek Chauvin was found guilty, after all of America watched him murder George Floyd like he'd squash a bug, while he begged for air and his mother. Yes, Dallas police officer Amber Geiger was convicted, too, after she walked into a black man's home and killed him as he sat eating a bowl of ice cream. Still, watching our officials work so tirelessly to keep the factually innocent Kevin Strickland in prison while an accused serial rapist like KCK Police Detective Roger Golubsky walks around collecting a taxpayer-funded pension makes it hard to have serene confidence that justice is en route. Last week, though, it arrived twice in one day. On Friday, Jackson County Circuit Court Judge J. Dale Youngs found DeValconaire guilty of second-degree involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action. That's because all police knew was that Lamb had been seen speeding. Nick DeValconaire ran into his backyard with his gun drawn. He was not armed with any permission or warrant or probable cause, however, in violation of Lamb's Fourth Amendment right to be protected from unreasonable searches. DeValconaire shot him 9 seconds after arriving on the scene. If he had stopped to get a warrant, what crime would it even have been for? Prosecutor Tim Dollar asked DeValconaire, in one of the most important exchanges of the trial. The officer said he didn't know. That's why we didn't get a warrant. After the verdict came back, Mayor Quinton Lucas said that while he respects the court's decision, he does not view the outcome as a broader indictment of Kansas City Police. That's upside down. It's even more an indictment of the way officers are trained and assigned than it is of this one man. Was DeValconaire taking some rogue action and running into that man's yard with his gun out? No, he was doing what his training told him he's supposed to. And what the violent offender squad he was a part of does do, which is try to proactively stop crimes before they happen. That's why this case is not about this one officer alone, but shows that policing doesn't have to be like this. There were 100 safer ways to handle the situation, and that they weren't even considered is not just a tragedy for the Lambs and the DeValconaires, but for too many other families. Prosecutors in Kenosha did a terrible job. The Kyle Rittenhouse jury also followed the law, hard as that is to accept. Like DeValconaire, he should never have been where he was when he fired in Kenosha, killing 2 people and wounding a third during protests over the shooting of a black man, Jacob Blake, by a white officer. But unfortunately, because our gun laws make the Wild West look like Australia, it's perfectly legal for a troubled 17-year-old to run around with an R-style rifle looking for more trouble. The prosecution did a terrible job, repeatedly putting witnesses on the stand who undercut its own case, in a state where claims of self-defense are almost impossible to disprove. Worse, perhaps to compensate, the state tried to cheat by dropping facts into the jurors' ears that they were not supposed to hear. So while I share the concern that vigilantism rewarded can only lead to more of the same, I also know for sure that when prosecutorial misconduct is rewarded, the result there too is more of the same kind of vigilante prosecutions that put Kevin Strickland, Julius Jones, Lamonte McIntyre, 2 men who did not kill Malcolm X, and who knows how many others in prison who should never have been there. When Gary Spath was acquitted all those years ago, it was because emotion, his tears on the stand, and the dramatic appearance of a police hero in a wheelchair, crowded out the facts of the case. In 2 cases decided on Friday, a jury in Kenosha and a judge in Kansas City followed the law instead. And that is a win, even if it doesn't feel like it. This story was originally published November.
All right, my royal family, I thought that was quite deep. So, it speaks volumes. But what I have noticed, my royal family, this is the end of Esau's year. This is not the end of ours. Our new year starts in March, if some people don't know. And what I see, they developed these so-called vaccines. They ain't working at all. They want folks to be a pincushion. I said earlier, this country has become a dictatorship, that if you don't get the jab, you don't work. And that ain't fairing at all, whatsoever. These variants is kicking they ass. Look at how things are ending. They celebrate death. You know, right now everything is dormant in nature, and we celebrate with blossoms and blooms. So that is what is naturally supposed to happen to them. We are separating. See, there is blessings in Rona. Lisa keeps saying we ain't coming back together. So y'all not faring well in many, many ways. You know, the cost of everything is going up. This is a different world. It is because of you. Y'all owe us RADOS money. Y'all been screwing them farmers, and we can go on and on and on. You know? But see, KD often talk about energy. I talk about nature and what is naturally supposed to happen. And see, with their energy, they have created something that they cannot undo. They fatten themselves up for the kill. They wanted their heaven now. And they don't feel too good. They don't taste too good. They don't smell too good. See, I've said this before. See, they have long ago prepared for us to uprise all through America with all their arsenal. And what's knocking them to their knees, they really taking a knee for real. That's the symbolism of what I'm about to say, this knee that they're taking with this Rona and all these things that are going on. Because it ain't nothing is working out. Their mind is boggled. It's supposed to go the way that they want it to go. And they demanding of each other, make it smooth, make it easy. We out here, because I heard Harvey talk, Mr. Superboy talk about it long ago, that he didn't went to places to eat, and you got some old, dusty, dried up white supremacists working, jobs that teenagers supposed to take, or, you know, folks in college. You know, Lisa showed that video at some pizza joint and stuff. You know, you voted against your interests. You know, my son-in-law was telling me there's a book out, and I'm not exactly sure, but I think the title is Dying of Whiteness. And he was giving me, my husband, examples of actual real stories where, like, this company had about 500 employees and a handful of black folks, and they were going to enhance their benefits and give them raises. They opted out because they didn't want us to have it. Ain't that something? We affecting y'all. I've even said that, you know, they try to make it look good and put one juror out there and stuff. We can influence. That could be a possible angel. You know, the divine hand do many, many different things and leave many, many messages. But y'all ending and y'all beginning ain't faring well. You know, right now, today is High Luciferian Day. You know, I honestly did not even know when I looked up that it is so-called Christmas. Yes, High Luciferian Day. They got over here in San Francisco tons of Luciferian churches, tons of them. But it ain't ending so well. You're on the world stage, and everybody is taking joy in your demise. Because wherever you go, you leave a trail, and it's funky, you know, and then you act proud. You know, could you imagine my royal family? We was at the state capitol doing that. It would have been a bloodbath. And if we would have managed to do what they did, they would still be talking about it. That's a shameful thing where you shitting and pissing. Yeah. But, you know, again and again, they displaying their nature. That's what I expect you to do. Because that's what your ass was doing in them caves, shitting all over yourself, in there with the animals and all of that. You didn't know what the hell to do. And then once they get a foothold, you know, they reign supreme. And many of our folks have lowered their standards to get validation. You better get your mind right. Validation. You want validation from Yahweh. This thing ain't even fully human. Our minds is all messed up, you know, or because you can get a bag. But in order for you to get a bag, you have to put your folk down. But see, that karma catch up on your ass. You know, I ain't forgot certain things, Daniel Cameron. You know, you made a point of making sure Breonna Taylor wouldn't be respected because he can't stand black women. They all gonna pay for doing what they continue to do to us every millisecond. But now you shame? You and your man is crying? You weak. You're inadequate. We are the superior ones. Get your ass off our throne. In fact, we're going to replace them thrones. We don't know what the hell is on them thrones with they parasitic ass. Ain't it juicy, my royal family? It's real juicy to see a motherfucker just take a knee. You're going to submit. Yeah, you're bowing down. Like I told some of my royals, I said, don't get too arrogant. I said, our Father will put you to your knees and you will literally be wailing and begging him, or basically, please just let me die. No. See, dying is easy, my royal family. I don't look for them to die. That's too easy. I want your ass to suffer. I want your ass to bleed core nonstop. You get no rest, you get no peace, you get no sleep or nothing. You get ulcers, you get cancer. Y'all brought me to this. Y'all brought me to this, the things that I'm speaking and others like me are speaking. There would have been a time I wouldn't even said any of this. But once I got around the true royal family and I was listening to what y'all were saying and that we can pray for their destruction, let's speed this thing up. We need our rest. Crying. But behind the scenes, doing all kind of nefarious shit. With thinking you are entitled. You know, they out here telling these judges up there in D.C. how much time they should do. And now they complaining that they up in there with our folks and they taking they commissary and telling them you better have your folks put some more money on the books with your crying ass up in there. I had this bitch licking the cell and the poles and everything up in there and the walls on a day-to-day basis. I had that bitch turned out. My alter ego is named Bonquisha, and she real ignorant. Oh, yes. This motherfucker, I can't even look at him. I wouldn't even put his mama up. You know what I said? She looked like Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy, well, you know what? I'm insulting Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy look better than that. Look way better than that. See, Harvey said he young. You know, he young. He getting ready to have a full experience. And when our Father get done with his ass, he'll have a full understanding. A full understanding. Very full. Oh, Granny, you wanted to be home today. You wanted to, do your little Christmas shit. I know your husband is glad your dumpy ass is out the crib. Do you know she 49 years old? I'm like, what? I'm 56? Y'all know what I look like? I know what some of y'all look like. Damn. I'm like, wow, night and day. But then after all this stuff, all them old fake ass tears, she's sitting up there with a fucking smirk on her face. I'm glad she did it. I'm really glad she did it. To just rub it in deeper. And her own is out there saying, oh no. They already shocked and stung and in awe. See, my royal family, in the art of war, it's all psychological. And the enemy don't know how to play the art of war. They are not willing to sacrifice not a one to give us the illusion that they are being fair. They want all of them collectively. That speaks volumes to me. That's weakness. That's weakness. So for me personally, because I respect again and again and again how you want them to suffer, I don't want them to die quick, real slow. As they going out, they losing their jobs, their houses, their marriages is breaking up, their kids is beating their ass. The question that I ask my royal family, how would you like to see their demise? I really would like to read that, because we all have our own opinions. See, we're not one-dimensional, Esau. We're at our lowest form and still superior over you. Yes. You're dying out. How it feel now? America, you shameful bitch. Oh, this is so juicy. I'm milking it for all it's worth. I just take joy in your utter demise. And you know what, so-called Lady Liberty? This is what the royal family gonna do. They're going to render their voice with their beautiful, divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love, and I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.